housing situation regarding the FEMA barges coming to Port Arthur. Mayor Derek Freeman posted a clarification to the temporary housing situation regarding the FEMA barges coming to Port Arthur. There will be 2 FEMA barges which will hold 300 Arthur. On his Facebook clarifying about the barges that will be used to house displaced residents. Looks like a jail. That looks like jail. Take a look at that. It looks like jail. And they're floating on water? FEMA barges? You gotta be kidding me.
The shelter is hard enough. But at this moment, right now you're talking about putting me on a barge.
Gwendolyn Donahue is not happy with the temporary housing coming to Port Arthur. She was rescued from her home during Harvey and is...
Let's go back, because we know exactly what that is. It's a prison. It's a FEMA prison on a damn barge. You go in there, you ain't coming out.
I'm not a fish, I'm not a crab, I'm not a shrimp, because I don't know nothing about being on a boat.
Mayor Freeman says the barges are expected to arrive in 2 days, but County Judge Jeff Brannick says other options are being looked at.
This is what they think about humanity. This is what they think about people. They never gave a fuck about the people. They've been thinking or plotting on this agenda for a very long time. All of them Jade Hell drills, martial law drills. I mean, if you guys wait too long, it's going to be too late. And we're all going to be fighting to save our lives, our kids' life. You guys better wake up. Snap back into reality. Shit ain't sweet. It ain't sweet at all. And when they get done with all these puppets, because that's what these motherfucker right here is. He's a fucking puppet. When they get done with all these puppets, they'll be gone too.
As well, FEMA and the Texas Division of Emergency Management will give options like mobile homes, trailers, and shelters.
So look, Fraud Emergency Management Agency. That's what they are. It's a fraud emergency management.
This as well. What can you tell us?
Let me introduce you to Danielle here. Danielle, you just arrived. Share with us how you were rescued.
Some guys had called our phone and asked us where we were because we was waiting for the police for like 36 hours and they never came. And we was waiting at the home. We did the white flags and everything and nobody came. But then somebody had called the phone after we decided to leave the house and we had walked to the gas station with the kids. And then they had called and came and picked us up. But we had been there like 5 days with no food and no lights and nobody came.
Now you're with your children. We've heard of stories of mothers trying to save their children from the rushing waters. Can you tell us how that was?
Through 4 feet of water to go get them food on the first day. Yeah, that's a lot of shit. But y'all sitting here, y'all trying to interview people during their worst times. Like, that's not the smartest thing to do. Like, people are really breaking down and y'all sitting here with cameras and microphones trying to ask us what the fuck is wrong with us.
So I'm so
and
sorry.
You really trying to understand it with the microphone still in my face, with me shivering cold, with my kids wet, and you still putting the microphone in my face.
Sorry.
Rosa Flores, it sounds like you've got a very upset family there. We're going to take a break from that, and we'll get back to you later on. Rosa Flores in Houston for us. Thank you.
Let them bitters go. Shit. I pumped her up, see? Hey, listen, you can fuck the hand up here when we do nothing. You fucked the hand up. You did that. You know, she did that.
Now to a controversial bill resurfacing in Congress. The FEMA camp bill allows the government to run at least 6 military installations when a national emergency is declared. These emergency centers would be run by FEMA under the command of the Secretary of Homeland Security. A few years ago, a similar bill was presented in Congress, but it didn't go anywhere over concerns that the broad language can lead to sweeping, unchecked government power. Now, another version is back up for debate, and Bob English, a civil liberties activist and blogger, joins us now for more. Welcome there, Mr. English.
Hello.
So it didn't pass the first time around. Why was there resistance to it?
Well, a fellow by the name of Lee Rogers began writing about it and raising some alarms, concern over the broad sweeping powers it would give the Department of Homeland Security, and it kind of caught fire and just died.
It just died because people were afraid of what this could lead to.
Exactly. There were concerns that there were parallels to the Japanese internment facilities in World War II that we saw, and for practical purposes, the financial mess was going on, and there were other things to be dealt with at the time.
Okay, so there were concerns over the vague language. It didn't pass. Now there's this new version of the bill. What's changed?
Well, they took out the vague language so that the centers are specifically set up to house, shelter, even educate people for extended periods of time, but they are limited to that specific purpose.
Okay, so of course this legislation is meant to be enacted in the event of an emergency. But what exactly does that mean? What is the definition of emergency, especially when it comes to this legislation? When would it be enacted?
Sure. We have to go back to 1988 to the Stafford Act bill to actually get the definition of emergency, and this covers things like tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, natural disasters, but it also gives the president to declare an emergency to avert a catastrophe, which raises the issue of preemptiveness.
Okay, but this also, this is, the goal here is to mobilize resources to have this plan to prevent a tragedy from happening, but also a reaction to it, right?
Yes, a reaction, and that's where some of the concerns for civil liberties activists come in, because it's a slippery slope. Once the government has this power and all these centers are set up, and it's at least 6, maybe more, probably more,
there is a real potential for the abuse of power here.
Okay, interesting. You know, we have this map that shows how the U.S. would be divided in the event of an emergency, if we can pull that up there. There it is. So this is how the U.S. will be divided into districts. You see 10 of them there. This is according to the National Emergency Center establishment. Can you describe what this map is? What exactly does that mean? I mean, it doesn't really make sense in terms of states as we know them. What is this classification system?
Sure.
What are the purposes?
It doesn't look like the map that you and I saw in elementary school.
Not at all.
Effectively, the U.S. has been cordoned off into these different districts, and so these new emergency centers will be spread out throughout the United States in most of these eventually.
And it gives FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security jurisdiction over what goes on in these places during a time of emergency.
Okay, I want to go and...
You damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
They just took some people off the boat and they took them to Tidwell Road, and the buses were taking them from the boat to the Tidwell Road Walmart Supercenter right there in Jersey Village, and there's other ones that are being used too. So there you have it. there's your temporary FEMA camps.
The National Weather Service says that parts of Texas might be uninhabitable for weeks, even potentially months after the hurricane. Are you prepared? Is FEMA prepared to be there for months on end?
If you're pathological, there's no cure for that, folks.
Remember the FEMA camps that we were talking about? This event is real that they caused, and there's real people suffering, and you're not looking and you're not seeing that part.
So let's go take a look at what they did to this neighborhood Walmart. And the way it's set up too is perfect. Look at, they got a security, why would you have a security camera right here? Why is this needed? What? This obviously looks like some sort of an entrance.
Only seeing on the mainstream media, all you're seeing is a bunch of mocking.
FEMA's going to be there for years. This disaster is going to be a landmark event. We're already pushing forward forces to be on the ground.
So as you see, this is the parking lot. This is where we're going to be busting you in. It's right off the 101.
We're setting up and gearing up for the next couple years.
Last night I dreamt about how things were.
Not here yet of every enemy of the state.
And then I woke up here.
So the Simpsons are saying re-education.
In fact, underneath the bridge, and they were loading up with as many people. It's got to be dozens of people in the back of that thing. Gosh. They take them to a nearby Walmart, and then the Walmart. They take them to a nearby Walmart, and then the Walmart is where I guess metro buses or school buses will take them to the shelter. The question is, what shelter are they taking them to? The question is, what shelter are they taking them to? Because I heard Tom say GRB is overcrowded and or not overcrowded, but at the capacity they had planned for. So I think they're, gosh, I certainly have that question. I don't know if we've answered it.
But that's what you mean when you say disorganized organization, because there is at least some kind of system. I mean, earlier we've seen reporters have situations where people come out of water like this, and it's late at night, and they're wet, and with their children and their pets, and they really have nowhere to go. At least they have a system where they're taking them to a Walmart where they can be inside and wait and figure out what comes next.
Absolutely. I think the people I talked to, all, with the exception of one, they all were eager to go wherever the truck would take them. Interestingly enough, hours ago, as dusk set in, the Coast Guard helicopters and the National Guard helicopters had pulled away. I hear one. There's no way we can see it. It's too far off, but I heard it pass over, a military helicopter. I had talked to a sheriff's deputy earlier. They said they had a quadriplegic who was stuck in his home and obviously needed immediate rescue, but and they were going to try and do that one with a chopper. I don't know if that's what we're hearing, but I know that was something that they were discussing.
Well, Ted,
as it just continues to be these groups of people walking.
Oh, as we watch these pictures, it's just, you know what this has turned into is a humanitarian crisis here, because clearly when you have a city that's paralyzed and then you have tens and thousands of people needing to be rescued and so many more at the shelters, and we're looking at pictures like this, even on the third day, nearly approaching our fourth day, we are dealing with the humanitarian crisis. It's only going to get worse, because where do all these people go? Are there enough shelters? What about food? What about clothing? What about,
hopefully they'll open up more churches.
Right.
That's certainly a big resource we have in this community. A lot of churches that hopefully will step up.
Any thoughts on that, Ted?
Well, I think we'll get to the point. Well, I think Art and Gina will get to the point where I think we'll realize that we cannot shelter this many people in a city even the size of Houston because of the crisis that we are dealing with.
Yeah.
That our resources will be so strapped that we will likely have to accept other people's offer to shelter some of our neediest.
Harvey's aftermath as they try to go back to normal. We take a closer look at some of the complications people are facing and how you can get assistance. Good evening to all of you. Welcome to 12 News Tonight. I'm Vanessa Holmes.
And I'm Dejanique Garrison. Thanks so much for joining us. In Jefferson County, temporary housing is on the way for residents displaced from their homes.
FEMA will be providing disaster assistance starting tomorrow. Our Jackie Massey is live at the Red Cross Center at Thomas Jefferson Middle School in Port Arthur with more. Jackie.
Vanessa and Dejanique, there's about 200 people inside this Red Cross shelter behind me at the Thomas Jefferson Middle School, but many of them may be moving soon because FEMA will be providing temporary housing for them, and many inside that I spoke to say this is a good thing.
Many residents are displaced from their homes, like Terry Patio. She had several inches of water in her home. About 15,000 1,000 homes out of 81,000 in Jefferson County received major damage from Harvey, according to County Judge Jeff Brannick. In the county, only 18,000 homes have flood insurance. Port Arthur Mayor Derek Freeman took to social media, announcing on Facebook that FEMA will be making disaster assistance available tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Yes, that'd be wonderful. I know a lot of people would really love that. I know I love it. I'm ready for that.
According to Judge Brannick, 2 barges with apartments, which can hold about 300 people each, will be transported to Jefferson County for people who are living in shelters or who are evicted from their apartments. For people who are living in shelters or who are evicted from their apartments. For people who are living in shelters or who are evicted from their apartments. This is a picture of what the barges could look like, and Brannick says they could be located near the port of Port Arthur.
I got displaced too, yes, me. I got displaced too because of the flood and because I have my dog and a whole lot of other stuff. And I'm here with this nice gentleman and there's some other people. It was a whole lot of people here, probably about 200-300 people. And there's like a long line of people over there just now getting here. And there are thousands of people in here, but I can't go and show you for public, like, privacy reasons. But I can't go and show you for public, like, privacy reasons. But I can't go and show you for public, like, privacy reasons. And Sergeant Sanchez of HPD just got through threatening to arrest people if they wanted something to eat. Now, members of the Red Cross are supposedly trying to find food because they can't find it. However, members of certain police departments are getting steaks and hamburgers and fresh food. Well, mind you, this is actually food from yesterday. So, and they have like tubs and tubs and tubs of the food, but they won't feed the people. Like this shit is real.
Hey folks, and welcome to another video from aplaintruth.info. I'm here in Houston. Started to see some of the disaster, some of the evidence. Got in yesterday. Talked to people, and I'm heading out to see if the dams they were blown or spilled over after the hurricane to validate what the gentleman from the Arkansas Ozarks had come out and said was going on. Tomorrow I'll be heading out to Port Douglas. Later today I'm going to the animal shelters to see about dogs. So it's going to be a very fun day here in Houston. Talked to the desk as soon as I came in here at the hotel, and they said it was horrible. And the lady said there were dams that were released in the Sugarland area where I'll be going today that were released after the hurricane and flooded out areas that were not hit when the original hurricane came over. I also spoke with people on the way down. They said it was not a hurricane. It just rained like they'd never seen it. It just came down. Same thing we experienced in California this winter with the greatest rain, snow ever. The rains did not come in. They were over us and they just released. This was a very isolated storm. It only covered 39 counties, 2.5 hours away in Waco, Texas. They hardly felt a thing. They just concerned about gas prices. Same thing in Dallas, same thing in Fort Worth. Gas prices was all they talked about. They had no idea what went on here in Houston, and it's still going on here. So I'm going to go out and get it. But before I leave, this whole FEMA ship camp, I've got more evidence on that, first-person accounting, and I'll be going out there tomorrow to see what I can validate about that. But I want to get this vid doc out today, and I'll try and get a report out each day. Well, before we get into the beginning of the documentation, that looks like there might be actually FEMA ships that are parked off of Port Arthur that many were loaded into. I want to get through some of these news stories real quick. Summer-like weekend ahead for New Jersey as forecasters track Hurricane Maria. Maria's moving off the East Coast. They're saying it's nothing yet, but Jose is still sitting off there. But I want to show you this picture. Hang on a second. So this is from earth.nullschool.net, and I suggest everybody just keep checking this out at least a day, a couple times a day. But here is pictures of Hurricane Maria that's moved off the Caribbean, and now they're saying it's going to be parked 500 miles off the coast for the next week of the East Coast. And here's still Jose still parked off the coast. But what I want to bring your attention to, folks, which is not on anybody's screen, nobody's talking about it. We've been watching this thing for days, and this thing has just exploded in size. This is up off of Greenland. Look at this thing sitting up there, folks. Look at this compared to the other two. is just massive in size. And they've got it parked way up above Nova Scotia up there, as the picture will bring in a little clearer. But look at the relative size compared to Jose. And so keep an eye on that. All right, so other things, let's get back to the news stories here. So freedom is a myth. We're all prisons in the panopticon. You should Google what the panopticon is, but we're being owned, folks. One of the themes that they're coming out with all these hurricanes is there was no power, there was no power, there was no power. A couple previous videos, I documented how they're going to space-based or high-altitude-based, if you don't want to use the word space, solar mirrors, lasers, RF frequencies down to solar collectives in the desert, and power is going to be worldwide, one source from space. So that's why they're saying power's out. Florida doesn't allow solar panels. We've had earthquakes again in Mexico for the poor people down there. Another earthquake hit. Another earthquake just hit, 0.6.2 earthquake strikes off the coast of Japan. And then we just had one I just saw today. California just got hit with a 5.7 earthquake as well. So this is the ring of fire that is being fired up. Now they can use HARP technology for tomography for penetrating earthquakes. HARP is not used for steering weather, folks. It's the Doppler and next generation NextRad. Department of Homeland Security policed millions to ticket and prosecute murderers. They're federalizing the government, folks. Prosecutors unveil full details of Anthony Weiner, as in Dick pedophile. That's how they use the names on people. Nestle makes billions bottling water it pays nothing for. Nothing new here. Mercedes plots to Tesla attack with $1 billion in U.S. electric push. So they're going to go to electric cars and driverless cars. Check this out. What do they need cars anymore for, folks? What do they need cars anymore? So what did they just destroy? And there's video footage here. I'm going to try and go to this raceway here where they're parking all these cars. I mean, this drone footage, I'm not going to do it, but this drone footage just shows tens of thousands of cars that are parked in these raceways now because they have no place else to put them. Estimated 500,000 vehicles. This is how they get rid of the refineries. This is how they get rid of the cars. It's geoengineering. By the way, this storm, it's really important to understand that this storm was in only 39 counties. And like I said before, no one else felt it. It was not felt up north. It was not felt to the west. And so nobody has that in my backyard feeling except the people in Houston today. So I just want to make that clear. I'm also going to try and find out a little bit more about the Walmart closings. And if you notice here, look at all the Walmart closings in the United States. Look where they're all clustered around the hurricane alleys here, along the floodplains. And then they got a couple in San Francisco, a couple in Los Angeles, a couple in New York, a couple in Chicago. But are these the FEMA centers? We're going to look and find out. And then finally, I wanted to show you this article here. This is September 22nd, yesterday article. Some green leaders get on board with geoengineering, all these. And this is from September 22nd. Stop moving. This is from September 22nd. Green leaders get on board with geoengineering. And here you have, I don't know what kind of language that is behind him. Looks kind of like Buzz Aldrin. This is the 2016, some foreign conference here. University of Cambridge, Polar Ocean Physics Group. Number of climate experts think we need to employ geoengineering techniques. Anybody want to call and wake them up? We've been doing this for 40 years. But here's what I found interesting. Not only talking about capturing CO2, but another potential right here. Here we go, backing it up. Another potential geoengineering save involves unleashing a fleet of small spraying ships around the world's coastlines that would pipe ocean water hundreds of feet skyward, spraying clouds with salt crystals to reflect more sunlight upwards and away from Earth's surface. So now they're validating, now that we're disclosing the ocean-based water vapor machines, they're coming out with them, folks. They're coming out and saying, now whether they're real or not, or they got some other technology like the hurricane, from above the hurricanes, being able to pulse it with their lasers and their space mirrors up above, we don't know. But here they're talking about it now, just yesterday. So the whole meme of ocean-based water vapor machines is now being played out, that the alternative news started bringing it up.
Other displaced residents like Patricia Mooney say they would not mind staying on a barge.
Nice place, you know, to regroup, you know, get yourself together, you know.
Come on, that's a fucking prison. You must be a paid opposition to say some shit like that. Don't nobody want to go to jail or nobody want to be in prison. You can't possibly tell me that you are okay with going to prison. You know you ain't even done nothing, go. So why would you gonna send your? You know you ain't even done nothing, go. So why would you gonna send yourself to prison? Who the fuck does that?
Give it a try. Well, no less you try.
Mayor Freeman says 3 meals a day will be offered at the barges along with laundry.
3 meals a day and also with your laundry. Yep, that's prison. That's jail. 3 meals a day and they'll give you their do your laundry, and it's going to be some stripes. It ain't going to be your day clothes or your outside clothes, your street clothes.
And satellite TV. Officials are all.
They got satellite TV. Man, fuck that satellite TV. Everything on that damn TV is fake. They ain't going to show you no real shit. They ain't going to show you while you being distracted and watching the fake shit. They going to be doing what they've been doing. How you think they got away with it all this time? Because they have distracted the mass people. They have distracted them with anything that they can possibly get them to divert their attention to, no matter what it is. And that's exactly what they've done. Caught us slipping.
Also looking into separating the men and women inside, and will also have security in.
So now you're going to be separated from your loved one. So if you have a wife or you have a husband, you have kids, my question is, what are they going to do with your kids? Where's your kids going to go? You going to put your fucking kids on that? You going to allow them to take your kids or force you to take your kids on there? No. You won't be taking your kids. And you ain't coming off that motherfucking barge. You ain't coming off, you go in any of these government agency facilities, you are not coming out. They're going to put your ass somewhere where you cannot communicate with nobody, so nobody knows what's going on. You notice they ain't doing no coverage on Texas. They ain't doing no coverage on Florida. They ain't doing no coverage because why? Because they are doing their dirt. They ain't gonna cover, put some news cover out there for people to see all the fuckery that they're doing. Taking people and forcing them to go to a FEMA, acting like they own someone. They don't own anybody. They don't have the right to tell nobody where they need to go, regardless if they was homeless or not.
Barges, and by the way, I heard they didn't even pass inspection. These things look like a jail inside. Port Arthur mayor clarified temporary housing situation for city. This guy right here, Derek Freeman, the mayor, posted a clarification to the temporary.
So all you celebrities donating money and sending it, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, but that ain't helping the people. You really want to help the people? Find somebody who live in Houston, Texas, and talk to them people and get them people some help. Help families. Start one family at a time. I don't care where you start, on the rich side or the poor side. Everybody need help. This ain't about white and black. This ain't about rich and poor, because everybody out here is messed up. You know what I'm saying? And then if you really want to know how to help these people, why is Home Depot and Lowe's, I just want to know why Home Depot and Lowe's ain't donating. Okay, you got $1 million to donate. Somebody put $1 million over there at Home Depot and open up the doors and let these people start getting these walls and pieces of roofs and everything they need to fix their houses. Why the people ain't over here at the schools? They started talking about schools reopening. Now you want to send my kids in there with some mold, because you ain't changed out none of this sheetrock. You know what I'm saying? I'm really upset about how they doing these people out here, man. This and Red Hot, they playing the people, they making millions, they finna go, they talking about bringing in trailers. You ain't got no land, but you finna find somewhere to put some trailers on and keep the people in, because you got to open up your stadiums and all this. You got to have your gun show at GRB, and you got to get these people out of here. You instead of thinking about your money, but you ain't thinking about these people out here in Kingwood. You ain't thinking about these people in Seattle Plantation. You ain't thinking about none of these people down here on this coastline. None of this here. And it done ran me hot because y'all lying and y'all scamming. And all you people donate, stop now. Don't donate another quarter. Get down here and find you somebody down here in Houston that need help. Because I know people that's displaced that need help. I got homeboys out here. Dale Harris, his man in the hotel, helping with his house. You want to know, Uncle Bud in the hood, 80 years old, his roof that fell in. Somebody put a roof on there. It'll take $5,000, $6,000. Send that man $5,000, $6,000 and talk to him on the phone. He over there scared. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep donating your money to these people. Your money, you giving your money away. These people finna be driving Rolls Royces in a month. These people is finna burn up out of Houston. It ain't gonna never be the same down here. I can tell you that now. All you people like to come to Houston party. Houston's not the place to party no more. Because all these people is displaced. And they not going to rebuild these people's homes. They not over here trying to help nobody. They collecting money. But where they at? People is going to the neighborhoods trying to help people tear out their walls and stuff. Get some money while these people tearing it out. Give them some money to put some sheetrock up so they can go back home. They don't need to be in no trailers. They need to be in their houses. This is running me hot, man. They up here lying. Now they talking about it ain't that much chemical in there. They lying. Why the police in the hospital? You know? Much love to all the police that have been sacrificing. I ain't tripping by no laws. These people need help too. Some of these people out here, police officers, rescue people out here saving people, putting their lives on the line for people, and their houses flooded. They looking for their families. You know what I'm saying? What y'all gonna do for them? What y'all gonna do for them? That's all I want to know. You know what I'm saying? What y'all gonna do for all these people? They got all these schools destroyed, but you talking about school next week. Well, who gonna teach them? The teachers over there at the shelters. This is crazy that y'all scamming the people, and I want y'all to let y'all know, man, this is a scam. This is one of the biggest scams I done saw to ever hit Houston, Texas, man. This is a white-collar crime against the people. You know what I'm saying? They're already they taking up the gas. You know why they taking up the gas? This is the Gulf Coast. They trying to tell you, oh, the chemical plant's messed up. All this here. These people, all this stuff is jacking up. Food prices going up. Our food prices going up, and people can't go to their jobs. Teachers ain't been to school. These people is misplaced. This is crazy how they playing the people. Man, I'm telling you, man, this is the biggest scam. All them people who donating that money, I don't trust none of them but J.J. White, because I believe the man going to go and help build some homes. All these other people donate money, Red Cross, and then you take your clothes down there to Goodwill, then they turn around selling the clothes. I could have sold my own goddamn clothes if I was looking for money. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. You selling people clothes that they donating, and people need clothes. Where they get money from to buy these clothes? This is crazy. I just don't understand it no more, man. It's a scam, and I'm telling y'all better wake up. Because y'all going to be left high and dry. All you people don't have no homes. I don't know where y'all going to be. Red Cross going to be out of here. FEMA, all of them going to be out of here. And they going to be somewhere eating steak and laughing, driving Bentleys and Rolls saying we cleaned up. I'm telling you, you better get real and wake up. This is a scam. These people is not out here to help people. And all you FEMA people talking about y'all, they ain't giving nobody no jobs with felonies and all this here. This is Houston, Texas. Our city high felons. They give you a chance. Half of the city workers is ex-felons. Thank you to the city for hiring felons. People want to change. People go down there to penitentiary, get out, they get jobs, they got houses, and now they misplaced. You tell them you ain't gonna get no job? What you expect them to do? What you expect them to do? This is crazy. This is the biggest scam in American history down here going on in Houston, Texas right now. I'm outside. I already know they got the chemicals in there. They already, I've been telling y'all for 2 days the plant was finna blow up. That ain't gonna be the only one blow up. They gonna have some more spills. They letting that stuff loose. Pipes is busted. They not telling you about in these plants. This stuff is in the water. People walking through the water. Watch they be sick. This is crazy. This is a scam. These people knew this here. And they down here running down here to get our money. and take it somewhere else. They ain't gonna go fix their house in Seattle Plantation. Like I said, Missouri City, Bear Creek, Kingwood, Conroe, nowhere. They ain't gonna go help them people on Cullen, in the Beltway, none of that there. Why they ain't over there? Why they ain't got Home Depot? Donate your money to Home Depot and make them open the doors down here.